Alright, this is lecture 1. We're going to be covering the Revit interface. Again, we're going to be using Revit 2020, so if you've downloaded 2019 or 2021, I'd ask that you uninstall that version and specifically download 2020. That's just going to make it a lot easier. There is one project where I will send you a file and then you will be sending me your files. So I don't want to have any issues where we're trying to mismatch things between versions. So just download 2020 for the purposes of this class in the 2020 fall. So to begin, I'm going to click on New here in the models, and this will open up a new project. So when you open up a new project, it gives you options for template files. There are a whole bunch of different, well, there's a couple different types of templates here, and what the templates do is it includes a whole bunch of things that you would otherwise have to set up manually. That's not fun, it takes forever, and it's super frustrating. So these templates are actually super helpful in getting you started and moving along with Revit. So just as an example, I'm going to load the construction template. There are two templates that students usually end up using. The other one is that architectural one, so I'm going to go to File, New up here. And again, I'm going to choose the architectural because I want to highlight some differences between them. So right now I've got two Revit projects. You can see that they're both level 1 because that's the default kind of screen it popped into here. If I go back to the first one, which again was our construction template, you can see that there's these top of footing, top of base and slab, top of foundation wall, and then a whole bunch of these 3D views. And then when I go to the elevations, you can see that there's just a whole bunch of options here. We don't necessarily need all those for this class. It's kind of overkill, and it gets really confusing and frustrating trying to go in here and adjust. Like if I wanted to make this foundation wall like slightly lower, it's kind of hard to click on that. So for the sake of this class, I would highly recommend you just use the architectural template. So I will go back and do New, Architectural Template, and hit OK, and that's the template you're going to want to use. And you can see that there's less stuff here, but it's less clutter. We don't need any of the other stuff, so there's no point in using it. Now, if you would remember from AutoCAD, we had a context-sensitive menu at the top, and that's another thing that's going to persist through to this program. If you click on these options up here as you go through the top, it starts showing you different things that you can work with. If I open up a couple windows here so that I've got several things open in this project, I can go to the View button up here and I can choose Tile Views. And what that's going to do is it's going to take whatever tabs I have open and it's going to show them in a tiled view setting so that I can work in different perspectives or different views at the same time. There's not much to see here, but let's say this is a floor plan, and then my camera's in the way. This is another floor plan, and then we have another floor plan. Did I? Oh, it open ceiling plans. Okay. I can open elevations, tile views. So now I can work in a elevation view and a floor plan view at the same time. You can just simply close these options and it will slowly revert back to a single interface like that. You can also tab views, so if I have several of these open, I guess it'll revert it back to that from the tile. And then if I have a whole bunch of things where I'm not using them, I can do close inactive, and it's going to close anything that wasn't. Let me open up a couple more again. If you'll watch right here, see right how I have the south view selected. If I do close inactive, it's going to close all the ones that I don't have currently open. If your Revit starts running super slow, it's likely that you've got about 20 or 30 tabs open. That can happen, especially when you're starting to do kind of exporting your construction documents. So you've got tons of little windows and tabs open. Some cases you might have them tiled, or if you've got something kind of pulled apart like that and you're working in this, you don't see that you've got a whole bunch of tabs back here. That can happen and slow your program down. So just close inactive every once in a while so that you can kind of free up some memory there. Next, so we've talked about kind of the context sensitive menu here at the top. Next is obviously this display window is going to be your main interface. It's where you're going to be interacting with your model and selecting things. But next to that over here we have properties. And properties are again context specific to what you have selected or what you don't have selected. So if I click on this, or if I select this level marker right here, it's going to give me options. It's going to say, here's what your elevation is for this, here's its name, and it's going to give you different options that you can modify here without having to go into the interface here. So if you are having trouble clicking on this 10 foot right here, you can click in it here, and then, wait, no, come on. There we go. Now, whenever you interact with this properties box, make sure that you don't move the mouse outside. And so kind of watch, see this apply button right here? Watch what happens when I start typing here. So I'm going to click right here. It's going to give me the option to start typing. And what students will sometimes do is move the mouse out here. And you can see that as I did that, the view kind of changed back to this window and that apply option went away. So when you're working with this, make sure that you don't move your mouse outside of there. It's kind of annoying. It's just one of those things that I want to choke a Autodesk engineer over. So when you click on this box right here, make sure you don't move your mouse, keep it exactly where it was, and then type, say, 14 feet. And then once you can either click apply or you can move out here and it will apply that change for you. So whatever you do here, either move the mouse out or hit apply, it will apply that change to your document, okay? Next down here, project browser, obviously I've kind of already jumped through a couple parts of it, but this is where you store all your documents. So this is where your floor plans are. I've got my level 1 and my level 2 floor plan by default, level 1 and level 2 ceiling plan. I don't have anything to show in them right now. We'll get into that shortly in the next lecture. And when you do go and generate things like sheets, let me actually generate a couple things. So let me go to my elevations. If I select this level 2, and let's put another level right there. So now I've got 3 levels in this project, and part of the magic in Revit is being able to actually create a new level like that, and then I can go to floor plan. Don't worry about this too much, this is something we're going to go over in a full other lecture too, but I can just say new floor plan, generate it based on the existing one, and now I have a 3rd level that's been generated just like that. So that's kind of one of the cool things about Revit, is it automatically updates your views here in the project. And then once I'm ready to as well, I can start going into generating, let's see, ceiling plan. We can add that in. So now I've got the ceiling plan. And then as I start adding things, like if I add a sheet to the document, you start seeing sheets populate down here. So Revit kind of generates a lot of these things for you. It's super helpful in that way, and it's why you can work a lot faster once you get to the point where you have kind of a lot of smaller things configured, which is what we're going to get into the next lecture, which is where we'll cover walls. So see you in the next lecture.